Now, in Africa, most of the countries, their backbone, for instance, Uganda, is agriculture. But previously, agriculture has been subsistent. But now, it is becoming commercial. And for us to be able to take it to the next level, mechanization is the way to go. And when I talk mechanization, I am talking tractors, I am talking weeders, I am talking sprayers, and I am talking all the tractors for all your agriculture needs. Now today, we've decided to center our focal point on agriculture, but mechanization of agriculture. Now we bring to you a company called Nebula Tractors. They are from Turkey, and these ones have centered their focal point on just tractors, and they are for agriculture. Now for you who is in agriculture, you better sit back, relax, better lean forward or even stand up. But later in the show, we shall also be discussing something in line with that, and I am talking fertilizers. Now for you to be able to commercialize your agriculture, you need to have products that are healthy, products that are up to date. And for you to be able to do that, you need to embrace fertilization. Now today, we have brought Kitsinsan. These ones have also centered their focal point in fertilizers. They have all liquid fertilizer. I'm talking liquid organic, I'm talking liquid chemical, and I'm also talking NPK fertilizers. But for now, let's go for a short break. But when we come back, me and Hajara will be discussing and diving deep. Also touching down in Turkey, talking to Mr. Tony and Mr. Kemal, who are our counterparts down there. All right, now Nana Cakes is actually saying that they have your wedding, your traditional wedding, your white wedding, your birthday, your graduation, all sorted. All you need to do is call them and make an order, and they'll definitely be able to sort you out. Now tonight, we're centering our focal point on agriculture, but what makes agriculture better? Those are the tractors, we're talking mechanization, and the fertilizers. Welcome to the show, Hajara.
Thank you.
Right. So before we get to Turkey to talk to Mr. Tony from Nebula Tractors, I just want to have a discussion with you with the importance of the mechanization of agriculture, because predominantly agriculture was subsistent.
Yeah.
People were just growing a little crops, eat them,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And sell for fun.
And some for fun.
Yeah.
But now we're moving on to the next level where someone is planting a garden to export these crops, to sell these crops, and some of it is a big chunk of land.
Yeah.
So they need to mechanize this. At a time like this, how is Nebula Tractors vital at a time like this?
You look at how much the cost of using human labor to cultivate, say, 20 acres of land.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, because you're going to look, most people charge 3,000 a day, and that was before the current inflation hit.
Yeah.
So you're going to find that you have to spend at least 5,000 per head every day. And if you have 20 acres,
Yeah.
the more money. But when you have tractors, then you're covering more ground,
Yeah.
and you're spending less. And that's just one of the many. Look at the efficiency,
Right,
the
right.
mistakes that a tractor can make while digging. I don't know you and your relationship with agriculture, but sometimes you're going to get workers and they will do haphazard work, which is not what a tractor can do. As long as a tractor is in a good shape, yeah, it's going to give you exactly what you expect of it. So efficiency,
Yeah.
and then the time saving. Let's say you have 20 acres of land and you want it cultivated. We are in April. Then we are heading to the dry season, and then around July, August, Then September they start planting.
Yeah.
So if you have your 30 acres of land and you want to use all the 30 acres, and you don't have enough money to afford 100 workers, yeah. So you have a very short period to make sure that you get the land ready. We are talking tilling, we are talking plowing. So it is a lot of activities. Yet when you have a tractor, it can cover so much ground in a little period. So you're looking at efficiency. You're looking at saving time. Yeah, and then you're looking at, you do not have the human mistakes that come in.
Right.
A human hand's precious, yes, but how much have we covered with that in the centuries that we have been doing the agriculture subsistently? Yes.
Exactly. I want to make this a little more practical. Yes. There are farmers that I know out there that grow maize, rice, and they supply big organizations, and they also supply government. Yeah. For instance, if I'm growing maize or cassava and I supply maybe to Ministry of Prisons, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Works, these people with such tenders, some of them have gone to another level that they have their own gardens and they have their own processing plants. Yeah. So a person like that who has their own garden, speak to a person like that who grows acres and acres of maize or cassava or beans to supply to such big organizations and agencies.
Yeah, Shadrach, let's, before jumping to that, let's begin with the terrain. Yeah, the African terrain. Sometimes it's hilly, sometimes it's mountainous, sometimes it's in a wetland, but mostly it's hard. Yeah, okay. So you have tractors. When you're talking of people that have such large tenders, whether it is a ministry person distributing or some other person hired to do that, you're looking at taking care of the terrain, whether it's hard, whether it's soft, that is taken care of with the kind of tractors that we are talking of. Yeah, when we get in Mr. Tony later, he gets to give us the specifics. Yeah, but you're looking at something that is safeguarding you from fuel shortages and fuel storage, the safety, taking care of the environment. But yes, when we are talking nebular tractors, you know that you're covering the terrain, the efficient is well ticked, it's covered, the time will be saved. And what else would we look for in such?
Right. So for you who is in large scale farming and you have big land, and like Ajara has said, our terrain is really hard. The tractors from Nebula are the ones that you need for tilling. We go for a short break right now, but when we come back, we go live, talk to Mr. Tony, who is in Turkey right now. We are still talking tractors. Now, right now, we talk to Mr. Tony, who is actually from Nebula Tractors in Turkey. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you for receiving us.
Right. So today we want to discuss about the specifications when it comes to the Nebula tractors. I know you have certain types. If you can give us some of those types, but then we dive deep into the specifications.
Okay. Our trucks, they are 100% made in Turkey.
Yeah.
They are similar to Massey Ferguson, the type 285 and 290.
Yeah.
This type, it's the most popular in the African countries. The engine, it's made in Turkey, as I said, 100%. The body as well. The T, what we call the T, is the transmission and the differential and the tires or whatever it is. Then this also, it's made in Turkey.
Yeah.
Our tractors have 75 horsepower, 80 horsepower, 90 horsepower, and 105 horsepower. The 75, 80, and 90, it is 4x2. The 90 and the 105 engine, HP engine, can be made also in 4x4. So this is according to the need of the farmers. And the dealers in the country, they know much more better than us what your farmers need as a 4x2 or a 4x4, and also the
Mr. Tony,
horsepower needed.
just to throw more light about the 4x4 and the 4x2, for instance, we have places here in Uganda that are hilly, the terrain is hilly and steep. So is that where they use a 4x4?
Yes, the 4x4, that's where they use it mostly. Our tractors are good to climb up to hills. With the 4x4, of course, it's much more better, has more power.
Okay.
And the balance of the tractor is much more better than the 4x2, because the 4x2 has a power only in the back.
Okay, so you said the 4x4, what is the horsepower for the 4x4?
The 4x4, we can install it in the 90 horsepower and on the 108 horsepower.
Okay.
So it can be done in 2 horsepowers, which I believe it is. Yeah, this is what you see. It is the 4x2
Okay.
at the picture right now. It is
Okay.
the 4x2. The 4x4 has a bigger tires in front because it has a differential also in front. So the power is on both sides.
Okay.
In this case, the power is only in the back.
Okay, impressive. Let's just talk about the engine. Are they that, because you said the engines are manufactured in Turkey, but are they the same engines for the 4x2 and the 4x4?
Yes, in some of them, yes, like 90 horsepower, it is for 4x2 and a 4x4 also. We can install for both of them. But what we can do is that we can put bigger fuel pump. So with a bigger fuel pump on the 4x4, it gives more fuel into the system, and automatically the pickup, it is much more better.
I'm rather interested in the fuel tank capacity. What's the capacity of your fuel tanks?
On the small engines, we have a 25 liter of a diesel. This diesel, we call it 175 per second. It's cold. For the bigger engines, we have a 40 liters capacity of fuel. And for the 105, we have a 40 liters also capacity. And I believe that the 40 liter, it is good for a tractor which would work 8 to 9 hours in the field.
I would love to ask about the unladen weight, the capacity of the unladen weight for these tractors.
The lifting capacity,
Yes.
it is 2.5 tons.
Okay.
The back. For the bigger engines, you can go up to 3 tons, up to 3.5 tons. But normally, you never lift up so much. But there is always a capacity.
Okay.
Is there. Capacity is there to lift.
Impressive.
Like a chisel or any other equipment. Life of the tractor, these days, I will say, I will talk to you about Turkey. We do have tractors from 1975.
Impressive.
And yeah, 40 years, 45 years, or 50 years, these tractors are still running in operation. Why? Because farmers don't use the tractor as you use a car. Mostly they use it in the field or somewhere that they will go in a very short place. So the tractor, it doesn't work with the kilometers, it works with the hours.
Okay.
Yeah, the tractors are like the heavy duty equipment. It works with hours. The maintenance, it's made with hours. oil changing, filter changing, or anything else in maintenance, the engine or the transmission, it's made according to hours.
Before I go for a short break, I would like to ask about the spare parts. Let's say, are the spare parts available and the availability worldwide?
Yes, they are available because it is 100% exactly like the Massey Ferguson. But we do have a lot in hand as a spare parts. As soon as they need something and it's urgent, we can just send it by air to give the best service to the customer.
All right, impressive. So, Mr. Tony, I want to go for a short break, but when I return, I want us to discuss more about how these tractors can enter Africa, your distributorship model, how you want to partner with people down here.
Kit İnsan. Güçlü ürünler, bereketli topraklar.
All right, still to come on the show, Kit İnsan fertilizers. But for now, we're still talking Nebula tractors. Hajara, before we just dive back, you discover he was saying that he has the 4x4 tractors, and these ones can go up the hilly area now, like for where you come from in Western Uganda.
Yeah.
Those ends of Chigezi, and then also they carry tons and tons of whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
This gives someone in Western Uganda or the hilly parts of Northwest an opportunity to also till their land. Probably if they are watching or they have a relative or a business partner in that line, what would be their word to them?
To be specific, the unladen weight, unladen means unloaded. Yeah?
Yes.
So you haven't put anything on the tractor. It's 1,120 tons. So that's 1 point. Yeah. So you have, where I come from, I'm from Mpororo, Ntungamo, and it's really hilly. Some places are rather hilly, and whereas the issues may come with the actual tilling, having to go up there, people get tired. So that's where the efficiency of these tractors come in. Someone is telling you, I have a 4x4 and I have a 4x2. It is either going to be your choice in just strictly the choice or the money that you can afford. But whatever you can, whatever you want, we have it here. We have tractors that have long-lasting batteries. He said, how many hours?
He said very long hours, and then he said some of the tractors have been there for over 40 years, batteries never died.
Yeah, so they are time tested. Then he's talking of a fuel tank of 17.5. Yeah, there you're discussing banded fuel tanks, and that means that it's going to save you from fuel. It is environmental friendly. It saves people from fuel theft. And so there are several advantages to having these tractors, most especially for people that are in hilly areas, because they are multi-purposed to take care of exactly that. Since they are sold worldwide, they focus on someone is from Asia, someone is from Latin America, someone is from Africa. They're going to be different terrains. So their tractors are in a shape that is able to take care of whichever ground you have. You're in Sorota and it's flat, you're in Ntungamo and it's hilly, you're covered.
I am telling you. All right, let's get back to Turkey. Mr. Tony, So, Mr. Tony, before we discuss the partnerships and distributorships, I just want to find out the way, first of all, maintenance and then operation. Is it easy to operate? Are these tractors easy to operate for when they land down here? We can just get someone who has ever operated any tractor before and they jump on it and they're busy doing work. And then when we have issues, the maintenance.
Okay. To operate it, it's the same exactly like the other tractors. There is no difference in between them. This is not like the big tractors like New Holland or whatever it is, automatic transmission. Our tractors are manual transmission. And whoever knows how to operate or drive a tractor manual will do it very easily. Just turn the key, start and go. Now, as the lady said over there about the heels, there is lower and higher second transmission that you can put on the first gear. And with the first gear, you can go up to, of course, up to a certain level of degree on the heel. It doesn't mean that this can climb up to 60 degrees. Okay. Nobody can guarantee that because they will turn it over. So there is mentally normal levels that a tractor can go. And it is environmental friendly. You don't see any smoke. This is very important. You don't see any smoke when the tractor is running. But it depends also with the quality of the fuel that you have in the country. Because if the fuel is not good enough,
right,
of course, the tractor cannot make miracles.
So when you say fuel, we're talking all of them are diesel, or they have...
Diesel, yes.
All of them are diesel. So the quality of the diesel fuel that you put in determines how the engine will run.
Yes, the diesel that we use, and like the diesel they use in Europe and they use in the Northern African countries. In Northern African countries is not very good quality, but normally this is made for 175 per second, why we call it the fuel. Yeah. This is well known in the world. But the engines that we have can run anything, any fuel, especially in the African countries, because in some places you do not have any good fuel. Sometimes it's mixed with other things, right. But it will run perfectly, no problem.
So at the point of sale, do you recommend a certain type of diesel with specifications so that the client does not have this liability of fake diesel once they are fueling?
No, but if there is any problem, there is a fuel filter.
Right.
That if there is any blocking or any pieces that it comes in, it will be blocked in the filter. Okay. So any fuel will pass through filtered. So it's not a problem.
Mr. Tony, before we sort of step on the partnership button, I would want to know what happens with the post-sale customer questions. Do you follow up after selling?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we also have a special questionnaire for this, which we are going to give to our dealer, and we're going to ask our dealer to do to speak with the owners, with the users, and have answers for these questionnaires, and we're going to know exactly what our tractors are doing over there, how they are doing over there, what is, if there is any problems, what is it? So that's what we are going to do.
All right. So because this is very important, we've had cases before where Africans have imported in things, and guess what? They have just been left in their own game. in their own movie and the manufacturers have not followed up. But if there's an assurance of after-sale service, that would be very important for the Ugandans watching you right now.
Yes, I am 100% sure with you. I agree with you 100%. The problem that you have with some countries like China, and sometimes I don't want to say anything bad about the countries, but like India, they sell and then they forget about it.
Yes.
We cannot afford to forget about it because who is going to say any good things about us?
Right.
We need the people to say this brand is good, although it's coming from Turkey. The brand is good. I'm happy with it. I have no problem. During the warranty, whatever I had a problem, the distributor or the dealer took care of it. So that's what we need. This is very important for our company and also for the country.
Exactly, because it taints the image of the country, it taints the image of anything coming from Turkey. You actually make a very important point right there.
Well, definitely, because the distributor or the company who will take care of especially during the warranty, should have the necessary equipment, the recommended spare parts. They always have to have recommended spare parts in their warehouse,
Right.
just in case, because we know which parts are changed during the warranty time, because for XYZ reason, we don't know exactly for what. Afterwards, we find out for what is happening. Although we do not have too many negative negative callbacks, but still, the dealer should have recommended spare parts, and that's what we do. We give them a list of it, so they should have it in their warehouse. So when the customer have any problem or anything that he didn't like it, they will change it right away.
Right, Mr. Tony. So after this very interesting conversation, someone who is watching you right now is wondering, then how do they work together with you now that they're in Uganda and you are in Turkey? What kind of working relationship can you have together?
Well, first of all, we would, of course, sit down at the table and talk about the dealership that we do. We will ask them what to do in Uganda, how many units that we would like to sell in the country, and what is exactly the population. What is the population of the tractors in the country? How old are they? How do people use it? Do they use it with the remorque in the back? How many days do they use it in a year? So after getting all these questionnaires, we would like, of course, to work with them and see what it will be the future of our brand.
Yes, you sit down on the round table, but if we can just have a few pointers so that someone who is considering can know, do they need to have a certain amount of money, or can you send something? Can you work out a relationship with them and then maybe probably send a tractor before so they can understand what exactly are you going to talk with them and have a relationship with them?
Well, what we would like to talk first of all is that we have to find out their reliability for selling the tractors, with who they are working, how are they planning to do the job in Uganda.
Right.
First, we want to hear from them. And of course, we would like to tell them that we want to distribute so many in the country. We would like you to find dealers that they are working under your company, there is quite a lot of things that we have to talk about. Too many things. Plus, of course, they will do importing, so there must be reliable also financially.
Okay.
If they don't have enough financial power, they cannot work with anyone in the world.
Impressive. Hajar, Mr. Tony makes a very important point right there. He says if you do not have enough financial muscle or enough financial power, you can't work with anyone in the world right now.
Yeah.
But before we leave this aspect, so if someone wants to work with them, but maybe they are more of an agency, they don't have the cash, but maybe they know the person who has the cash, what kind of way can someone work with these people, even minus having physical cash ready?
Well, Mr. Tony doesn't seem to be looking for someone to connect them to someone with cash. Yeah, they don't seem to be looking for a middleman. They are looking for the person that has the interest in dealing with them, either as a partner or a distributor. And they have a particular cash amount, which is my interest, which is what I would like to ask. What is the specific amount of money that someone is supposed to have in order to get in business with
Before we go for a short break, if the producer can give us Mr. Tony again, so that he can just answer that real quick, then we...
Well, there is, well, I cannot say they should have so much money. I cannot say they should have $1 million. What we would like to know, is that they should have a certain amount of money in the beginning to import at least 5 tractors. At
least 5 tractors.
So they will distribute, 5 tractors. It's not a big deal, 5 tractors. So they can start with this amount. Then, at the second order, when they will see that people are happy, they will order 10.
Okay.
Then they will order 20. Then they will go for 100 pieces, because normally a dealer in a country can import and sell and distribute in its own country, as long as they are in this field, up to 300 to 350 tractors per year.
Okay, so with that background, Mr. Tony, what country in Africa have you people dealt with where you have distributors, if the Ugandans who are watching you would want to know?
Okay, we have distributors in Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan. We have also in Guinea.
Impressive. So with all these African countries listed, then Hajara, someone who is watching, that's enough security for you to know that these people know what they are doing, and maybe their prices are pocket friendly, that Africans can afford them.
Yeah, perhaps, but how about if I am an established dealer in tractors, I'm selling them already, and I just want to distribute? Would you mind that, or are you rather interested in fresh dealers?
No, fresh dealer, it will take too much time, but the dealers that they are already in the field, this is very important for us.
Okay.
Because they know where to sell it, to whom to sell it, and where to distribute it. They know their country very well, so they know with which village and with which city they will send the tractors and distribute them. And they know very well how many they will sell per year, according to the HP power.
Impressive, Hajara. So Mr. Tony here, they are looking for people who are in the game, people who have done the enough market survey, people who are in this, who are not gambling. You know, Hajara wants a 2 horsepower, a 4x4 or a 4x2, because they are in this kind of environment. They want people who have done their market homework. Interesting right there. Let's go for a short break, but when we come back, we're still discussing with our partners in Taki, Mr. Tony, and then we're going to be joined by Mr. Kemal for the fertilizers. So for you who is in agriculture and you're into fertilizers, either you just distribute fertilizers or you're directly in agriculture, after the break, we discuss fertilizers. Sit back, relax, we're coming back. Your dream is valid. We will be coming to you live with business exclusives, business nuggets, and business insights. Above all, business interviews from your international top business moguls. Ladies and gentlemen, I have good news for you. The Hub Channel by DBS. All right, welcome back. Remember, we're still broadcasting live here at Salama Road in Munyonyo. I'm talking the .NET Hub. Now, a lot actually happens here at the Hub. We've seen the Nana Cakes. We're also architects and also technologists, but not forgetting we're your number one stop for all content creation. I'm talking live streaming. I am talking outdoor broadcast. I'm also talking TV shows. Content creation, name it. The numbers on your screen right now is the best way you can reach us right now. So call us and make sure that we get you all the content that you need. Hajara, before we get back to Mr. Tony, we were talking still agriculture, but we're talking fertilizers, the effectiveness of fertilizers when it comes to someone who is doing large scale agriculture. Because, you know, predominantly Africans used to do subsistence, and that's okay. You could use the natural soil, you could use the natural methods, that's fine. But now when it comes to acres and acres of land where you expect to make money, probably, you know, these days they can even give you a percentage. When you get a tender, they give you a percentage of the money, take it to the garden. After you supply, they give you the balance. So a person like that for fertilizers, what do you have to tell them?
I think that you have actually rushed to the large-scale growers. Africans, we never used to need fertilizers because one, the soils were extremely fertile, and second, the land was vast. So the crop rotation didn't have to happen on the same garden. You could use this piece this season and use another piece the next season. That has grown, it is lacking. Now we don't have that kind of land anymore. So people are using the same pieces of land every time.
All the time,
There is no time for crop rotation. So what you do now is do maize now, then beans the next time instead of moving. So the fertilizers, that's how they jump in. But Shadrach, I'm not going to jump on your optimism train. We have concerns with fertilizers, and I hope that our visitors today can put that to rest. The mess they do with the pH of our soils, the quality, because then it's the quality that by extension deals with the pH, and then you're using it this season, then the next season you can't put in anything, fertilizer or not. So whereas given the climate change, given the exploitation and exhaustion of the soils, yes, we need interventions in the name of fertilizers. What we have on the market so far has been disappointing. So I hope that the people we have on board tonight have answers to that.
Impressive. So we slide back to Turkey because you make a very important point that, hey, we need fertilizers because we do not have the luxury of the soils anymore where we would rotate crops and wait for the other one to regain. We do not have that luxury anymore. So now our answer would be now fertilizers. So tonight we have people who have actually centered their focal point. They make sure that fertilizers is their game. We're talking Kitsan. So if we can get Mr. Tony, who with his partner. Okay, Mr. Tony, thank you for staying with us. Hajara makes an important point there. I think that should be the first question to Mr. Ali as you translate to him. He says that the previous fertilizers have played a big role in destroying the pH of African soils. How are these fertilizers that you're bringing to us tonight different?
Ali Bey, şimdi Ali Kemal Bey Hacer'a soruyor. O bayan diyor ki buradaki kullanılmış olan birçok kimyevi malzemenin pH'ını, toprağın pH'ını kötü bir duruma getirdi. Ve bir sene içerisinde ettiklerini ertesi sene pH'in bozulmasından dolayı doğru dürüst ürün aramadıklarını söylüyor. Sizin ürününüz
Tabii
diyor
ki
ne yapacak?
şimdi bizim öncelikle herkese merhabalar diyorum oradaki herkese. Şimdi biz yıllardan beri bu sektörün içerisindeyiz. Türkiye'ye ve yurt dışına ürün gönderiyoruz. Bugün Yemen'e de gönderdik. Farklı ülkelere de gönderiyoruz. Haklılar. Tabii ki ürün içeriği çok önemlidir. Bizim üretmiş olduğumuz ürünlerimiz bizim bakanlığımızın yönetmeliklerine ve izinlerine uygun ürünlerdir. Yani şimdi tabii ki yurt dışında sadece üretici belgesi olan firmalar yeterli diye her türlü ürün gönderebiliyorlar. Doğrudur. Asla varsa biz bunlardan uzakız. Yani bizim bunlarla bir işimiz yok. Bizim bakanlığımızın, bizim kendi Ar-Ge'mizde çalışmasını yapmış olduğumuz ürünler üretiyoruz burada biz. Dünyanın çeşitli ülkelerine gönderiyoruz. Ülkemizde de ülkemizin önemli kurumlarına, tarım kredi kooperatiflerine, banka birliklerine ve büyük sektörlere satışlarımız var. Ben yani suyun, toprağın pH'i, suyun pH'i hepsi ve gübrenin pH'i hepsi birbirine uygun olması lazım ki siz o üründen verim alabilirsiniz. Dolayısıyla bizde böyle bir şey söz konusu değil. Bunu başta söyleyebilirim.
Tamam. He says that yes, we are aware of this. Some companies, although their fertilizer is not according to the European standards or according to Turkish standards or according to countries' standards, they do send some fertilizers that they are not good for their soil. Though because the prices are low, and some people they think that by buying with a low price material or whatever it is, fertilizer, will help them out. Maybe it's helping them out at this moment, but for next year, it's ruining the pH of the soil. So he says that we are selling European countries and to the Arab countries and to some African countries, like North African countries. We do not have any bad feedback. The feedback that we get, it is positive because we continue selling. We
Right.
continue selling because customers are happy.
Right.
And of course, this is very important for our country, for our companies.
Right. Interesting. So I would have two concerns. One is if you can kindly explain to us for the African soils, what would be the best fertilizers? Because I am knowledgeable that they have the liquid organic, they have the liquid chemical, and they have the powder NPK. So which one is the most selling so far according to their records for Africa, and it has proven to be the best used by Africans? That's number one. And then number two, the transportation of these fertilizers. During transportation, won't we have issues of maybe destruction? Won't we have a problem with the transportation? Those two concerns.
Şimdi Ali Kemal Bey, şirketini görüyorsun değil mi? Dönüyor şu anda.
Görüyorum abi.
Dönüyor senin şirket, gösteriyorlar. Şimdi diyor ki normalinde hem sıvı hem de toz halinde gübreler geliyor. NPK ile ilgili, yani o gübreyle ilgili şeyleriniz nedir? Değerler nedir? Ne gibi artılar verecek? Bir. İkincisi şeyle ilgili likit olanları, yani sıvı olanları veya toz olanların ömrü nedir? Bozulma ihtimalleri nedir?
Evet.
Afrika'da şimdiye kadar satmış olduklarınızdan ne neticeler aldınız? Afrika ülkelerinde.
Evet. Şimdi biz öncelikle tabii ki dünya ülkelerine biz gübre gönderiyoruz. Kadar vardır. Bizim sadece üretmiş olduğumuz özel gübrelerimiz ve toz gübrelerimiz, sıvı gübrelerimiz. Bir de organik gübreler vardır. Yani oranın toprak yapısına uygun organik gübrelerimiz de var. Her ülkenin farklı bir talebi var. Her ülkenin toprak yapısı farklıdır. Yani ama birbirine yakın değerde üretimler oluyor. Bizim ürünlerimizde raf ömrü 3 yıl. Yani sıvılarda biz likitlerde 3 yıl olarak öngörüyoruz. Yönetmenlik de bu şekilde. Bizim artı en önemli etkenlerimizden bir tanesi kitosandır. Yani doğal bir polimer. Doğal bir polimerde özellikle bitkilerdeki hastalıklarla ilgili, yani kök çürüklüğü gibi hastalıklarla ilgili, mantar hastalıklarla ilgili hiç başarılıyız. Özel ürünlerimiz var. Özel geliştirdiğimiz ürünlerimiz var. Üniversiteyle işbirliği yaparak, bakanlığımızla işbirliği yaparak üretmiş olduğumuz özel ürünlerimiz var. Bizim tabii ki lokomotif öncümüz de bu özel ürünlerdi. Gübre üretimi organik olsun, organomineral olsun, kimyavi olsun ve bunların sıvı grubu olsun. Üretimimiz var. Ama bizim en önemli konumuz çocukların direnciyle ilgili hastalıklara karşı özel ürünlerimiz var, argelerimiz var, üniversite yapım çalışmalarımız var. Biz nihayetinde biz özel ürünlerimizle dünya pazarındayız.
Mr. Ali Kemal, he says that the material, the fertilizers that we use, they are according to standards, especially the liquid ones, are sprayed all over. They have been used for the vegetables and the fruits. And also there is a very important point, I would say, is that it can extend the shelf life after that they pick the vegetable or the fruit. So this is very important, especially for the country that they do export. So there is a certain time that passes during the transportation plus the shelf that goes on the shelf in the supermarkets or whatever it is. So it extends the shelf life at least minimum 1 month extra from what is supposed to be done. And also with the fertilizers that we use, that we did use also in African countries, what it does is that it shortens the picking time. Like 1 week to 10 days, they can pick when the fruit or the vegetable is ready to be picked. 1 week to 10 days. And this is very important, the picking time.
Interesting points right there.
And we are working with the universities in Turkey, and our fertilizers are continuously controlled by the universities, and we cannot do anything wrong. There is no mumbo jumbo operation in our fertilizers.
Interesting conversation right there. Mr. Tony, we have less than a minute to close the show. It's been interesting catching up with you gentlemen tonight. But Mr. Tony, your last words to the Africans who are watching you, if I could give you maybe 3 seconds to do that.
We love them.
Interesting. That is summarized. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Until next time, we'll meet again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us. Their fertilizers actually increase even the shelf life after picking the fruits. You put them in the shell and you have 1 month while they are on there. Interesting right there. But as we wind up the discussion, for all those who are into this kind of business, tractor business, but then also agriculture, your last words.
We hosted someone from the tractors industry today, and then someone from the fertilizers industry.
Yeah.
So I simply want to do a wrap-up for those that may be interested. We were talking banded fuel tankers, 17.8. Yeah, we were talking horsepower that goes we have more than 40 horsepower. Yeah, you're talking 3 gas cylinders, rather, and then you're talking of, when it comes to clutches, dry and single, yeah, so it's a pretty good deal, and it's extra good with the African terrain. So what more excuses can we have in regard to having more efficient machines doing the work that we have known our hands to do for thousands of centuries? And then you have liquid organic, and then you have a powdered option for fertilizers, so you can target which crop you want given or rather fertilized at what point, and you increase the yield that you get at the end of the season compared to what we have been getting. And then, Shadrach, before I leave, I want to inform the ladies that want to be smart and decent out there that at Qualisel Level 2 Shop 45, we have Naham, we have a shop, Naham shop, and it brings in authentic clothes from Turkey. We are talking ladies, authentic. Yeah, that's hard to come by in our markets lately. Yeah, so make your way there and you will be able to get dresses in all shapes, colors, and sizes. I will end on a note of appreciating our audience tonight. I think that cannot go unsaid. We appreciate the company that you keep us week in, week out. Thank you.
All right, interesting right there. Now, my part away shot would be that for you who wants to do business, have a little bit of capital to at least import 5 tractors. If you have that, all you need to do is make your way to the .NET agency, and the .NET agency will make sure that you meet Nebula tractors. Now, for all the people you watch here, all you need to do is come to Salama Road in Munyonyo at the .NET agency, and they'll connect you direct, assured, certified, and all you need to do is make your way here. But that is it for tonight. Good night, good luck. Until next week, adios.
İnsan, güçlü ürünler, bereketli topraklar.
Coming to you live with business exclusives, business nuggets, and business insights. Above all, business interviews from your international top business moguls. Ladies and gentlemen, I have good news for you. The Hub Channel by DBS.